Always gonna look tired. All right, let's get into it. As usual, this video relates to a solution that I'm proposing that I'm going to quickly summarize here and then move on to the new content. That solution is a vetting system that would be placed on our politicians. I call it the grill. The grill is a once-a-month, 3-hour-long interrogation of the politician while they run for office and while they're in office. And if you want more details, you can look for the grill overview video. The rest of this video is dedicated to giving more details to the grill. The more details that you give a project or an idea, the more it goes from just this idealistic concept to some sort of idea that we can actually implement in reality. There were a lot of comments about the frequency of the grill being monthly. Everybody kind of thought that was too much. And I agreed at first, but then I saw my email, 3 emails from 3 different politicians. They were all volunteering to be grilled. Politicians are saying, I'm happy to be made vulnerable on a regular basis. Let me show you what I got. And that's the kind of attitude that we want to encourage. And if you're a new politician, you're probably going to want as much free airtime as possible, and you're going to want to leg up on your competition. The minimum is to come in once a quarter, so 4 times a year. The maximum that you can do will be once a month. That also sets up an interesting dynamic. You're going to be comparing politicians that come in once a quarter to politicians that come in more frequently than that. It's one of the great benefits of a vetting system. Lots of different ways to measure your politicians. The mood of the grill. Let me explain. A lot of people had suggested grillers. The grillers are the people that interrogate the politicians. And one name that came up over and over again was Jon Stewart. It does not matter what I think about Jon Stewart, if I like him or I do not like him. Jon Stewart, objectively, is a quick-witted, self-aware, articulate speaker who has good comedic timing, who can do those kind of funny I gotcha moments and those sort of sarcastic smiles and asides to the camera. But on the grill, if we corner a politician into a place where they've said something and we fact-checked it and they were wrong, there is no I gotcha moment. There is no sarcasm. There's no comedy to the camera. The grillers on the grill are not going to peacock their personalities. That's not what they're about. In fact, the grillers are really incidental. They're not robots. They're there to uphold the tenets of logic and the format of the grill. So anyone can be a griller, including Jon Stewart, as long as they abide by that protocol. On the other side of the table is the politician, who can have an over-the-top personality or play it close to the vest. The only places where they can't go would be if they started to mudsling. That is, if they were to make fun of another politician. If we wanted them to do that, the grill would be a debate show, and then it would devolve into a WWF wrestling match like most debate shows do. The grill is a one-on-one interrogation with the griller and the politician. One last point, if the politician was involved in some kind of scandal, as they often seem to be, and of course, I don't mean murder. If they murdered someone, we're not going to grill them. But if they're involved in some sort of ongoing scandal, we are not going to question them about that. That's for the tabloids, that's for the mainstream media. The grill is here to inspect and dissect ideas and test them over and over again. The grills are each 3 hours long. Again, that is meant to stress test the politician. They do not have to stay the whole time. This is not a hostage situation. You may have some politicians that consistently duck out early, and you have other politicians that fulfill their 3 hours every single time. The first 2 hours of the grill are beholden to the tenets of logic. This is where the grillers are intensely listening to every single word that the politician says. If they detect a non sequitur or something built on a logical fallacy, or they are fact-checked in a way that shows that the politician was wrong about something, the griller will request a playback, which is just the audio of what the politician said that was in question, and we will inspect it. Right about now, you might be thinking, wow, the grill is like a really dry show. Where's the entertainment value? The politician presents an idea, maybe it gets destroyed. Let's see how they react to recreate it again. So there's this sort of destruction and recreation. So that tug of war back and forth, that kind of verbal dance that's going on, that kind of stuff, nuanced thinking, critical thinking, it's more contagious than you think. It's not a cat video, it's not a person dancing video, but the more we put it out there, the more we look to these politicians to refine their thoughts, the more stuff like this will be considered good entertainment. The last hour of the grill, we're not going to tie them to logic as much. We're going to ask them to come up with things that they haven't expressed before, ideas that are in their infancy as to how they want to reform or improve society or the constituency that they serve. I want them to kind of feel a little bit more free to have that creative chaos. I want to see if they have an imagination, develop an idea that is in draft form on the spot. The last hour is going to test if they have an imagination, which I think is a very important feature to have in a politician. The grill will interrogate politicians on a variety of topics. I want to take a little time out here. Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine that you and I are standing on a beach or in a field, and we have a stack of papers that we can replenish, and our entire existence is based on making paper airplanes and throwing them into the air so that they fly as far as possible. We have differences on how we think we can make the best paper airplane. I like a certain paperweight, you like a different kind. I fold it 3 or 4 times, you fold it 16 or 17 times. All the way up to how we launch and release the paper airplane from our hands. We're passionate about these differences. However, what I failed to mention is that surrounding us is a 20-foot high circular wall of pure fire and flame. And so we have to kind of put those little paper plane differences aside and start putting out the fire. The fire is corruption and money in politics. And since the grill is so logically minded, the grill will dedicate a decent portion of each and every grill to asking questions of the politicians about getting the corruption and the money out of politics via topics like term limits, insider trading, campaign finance reform. How do we break down the relationship between rich entities, the media, and government? So we will focus on questioning and interrogating politicians about what they think about the corruption in politics and what they will do about it. That will be a large part of every grill. That was simultaneously a lot of detail and not enough detail. Again, this is a work in progress. The goal is to be connected to like-minded people who are by far smarter and more influential than I, of which there is quite an abundance, that can latch on to the project and make it become a reality. I don't advocate violence, and I don't really particularly care about protesting. If that's your thing, that's fine. But I think the way that we win this, we interrogate politicians, and we all do it together. We get mass public opinion to support the grill. So please like this video, comment on it, share it, go back to the original grill overview, and send it to everybody that you know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.